Sinirdosh, right? Sinirdosh is the understanding of one thing by the means of another. So you are trying to understand one thing with the help of another. So here a part is used to designate the whole or the whole to designate a part. Fine. For example, they have given, I have the viceroy, love the man, and all hands, right, crew at work. Fine. For example, if I say in a very simple manner, Rahul is learning his ABC in preschool. It is not ABC is not the alphabet the person is learning, right? I'm actually new to this place, right? I'm new to this office. I'm learning the ABC of it, right? So I'm learning the beginning of it. Got it? So look at this one. This is the example of synecdoche when it is trying to represent the whole. So this ABC is representing the whole thing, right? It is like using, like coming with a creative imaginary thing that he is learning the beginning of it. So ABC is not this alphabet, right? Suppose instead of this preschool, I would have written college. That Rahul is learning his ABC in college. Then you're going to say it's alphabets. It will not make sense. He's just learning the beginning of his studies. So this is the example of synecdoche when you are trying to understand one thing by the meaning of another. And these are the parts which is going to designate the whole or the whole as a part. Let's look at another example. Mostly in reading comprehension, you come across with such kind of figurative language. For example, they say in that industry, the employer, he had a pair of hands. What does pair of hands means? What is actually try to, you can say designate. In the industry we're talking about, the employer, right, is having a pair of hands. Basically, a pair of hands means we represent it for a worker, because worker is going to simplify your work, right? The worker is going to simplify your work. So a pair of hands is a, like you can say, designation for a worker. So when you designate something the whole, you represent something. That is the example of synecdoche. Like for example, we say the law has denied this, right? The law doesn't abide, right? All these things. So the law is basically stands for a police officer. For a police officer. The next one, transferred epithets. Look at the definition. It says, in transferred epithets, the qualifying objective is transferred from a person to a thing, as in these phrases: sleepless nights, sunburn mirth, melodious plain. Fine. So basically what happens, the qualities of a person is transferred to a thing. Now this is very much different from the personification, because in the personification we are trying to give that quality, right? We are trying to tell the qualities, give the qualities of humans, right? Like the gestures, emotions, sensations to a non-living thing. But here you are transferring. When it is a case of the transfer, when you exactly give it, you don't attribute it, right? You just give it, you transfer it. That is a case of epithets. So personification and epithets are little, you can say closer, right? But they are different. If you're transferring from a person to thing, it is the epithets one. Like for example, sleepless night, right? Sleepless night, you have transferred this quality to night. Sunburn mirth, melodious plain, fine? You have transferred it. But in the, if I talk about in the personification, you actually qualify the human qualities to a non-living thing. You don't transfer it. For example, if I say the sun smiled at us, right? This is one example. This example, the sun smiled. Is this the example of the epithets, or this is the example of your personification? In personification, you give the quality to a non-living thing. The human quality, right? It actually describes a non-living thing. That is the personification. But in epithets, you transfer it from a person to non-living thing. So the sun smiled at us, right? This smile is a quality of human being. You have given, right? You can say you have associated with sun. So the sun smiled at us. Non-living thing is performing a human activity, right? The non-living thing is performing the human activity. So this is the example of personification. But in the epithets, you can see over here, sleepless nights, right? You're not giving a quality, but you have transferred the human quality to a thing. That is the example of this one. So when you associate the human qualities, right, that is called the personification. But in the epithets, you transfer it. Euphemism. Euphemism is basically when you use a mild tone for something harsh. Euphemism, you use something mild for something harsh. You use a mild term, you use a mild term for a harsh situation. As you can read over here is, by euphemism, we speak in agreeable and favorable terms of some person, object, and considered unpleasant or disagreeable. For example, he is telling us a fairy tale, right? Lie is something that is harsh, is bitter, but you are using a mild form for this. He has fallen asleep. Instead of saying dead, he has fallen asleep. Similarly, the doctor says that person has no more. He has passed away. You have the idiom that is called kick the bucket. Kick the bucket. So this is something which is a very mild tone, right? You say no euthanasia. You must have heard of the word euthanasia. Euthanasia, we never say euthanasia, we say mercy killing, right? We say mercy killing. So this is the example of this one. What do you know by genocide? What is this? It is a mass murder because side stands for to kill, right? Side stands for kill. And mass killing, right? So genocide is a bitter term. In euphemism, we are going to say it is ethnic cleansing, right? It is ethnic cleansing. So this is called the euphemism when you're using a mild term for a harsh one. And please remember, this euphemistic tone of the author is always positive. It is always positive. Because any word which starts with EU, it is positive. The meaning of this prefix is good or well, right? Good or well. Like for example, you have the word that is called eulogize, right? When you start praising someone, that is called eulogize, it is EU. Eloquent, you must have heard of the word eloquent. So if a person who is good, right, in speaking something fluent, that is called eloquent.